up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past week or so. Of course, the first video with Lionel Messi and Argentina being world champions, and they do have a big spot in this video. We are going to be talking about the possible return of Messi to Barcelona and how the president Joan Laporta is dreaming about his return. Now, on the topic of the World Cup, we have been linked with a few World Cup stars during the tournament. Of course, we will talk about, but mainly this video will be upon Barcelona's FFP issue currently with La Liga. We're going to talk about how players can be coming in and out in January and what the plan for Barcelona in the January transfer window is. We also have a big contract renewal update on Alejandro Balde, who is on the verge of renewing his contract with Barcelona. And finally, probably because of the biggest news around Barcelona over the past week is about the future of the first team captain Sergio Busquets, who has apparently made his decision on his future. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is one of the best replica football jersey websites on the market. They have fantastic qualities at fantastic prices. I ordered some the other day, and I got the treble winning jersey for Barcelona in the 14-15 season. The quality is absolutely unreal at a fantastic price. Look at the badge on the jersey. It is fantastic. You have the Nike logo as well, looking brilliant. It has the right tags, the right size, the right material, and it's at a fantastic price. And on their website, they do have the new Barcelona kit for this season with the Spotify logo. You can pick what badge you want on the sleeve, La Liga, Champions League. You can pick whatever number you want, whatever name you want on the back as well. And again, the material is absolutely unreal. Here I have the 2007 Champions League kit for Barcelona. As you can see, it has the UNICEF logo, the Nike, the Barcelona badge with the Camp Nou name around it. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get 15% off your final order. That is BOY. Use it at checkout, 15% off, and all orders over $80 get free shipping as well. So go down below, top link in the description, and get your new football kit today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past week or so. Now, firstly, I want to discuss two players who performed very, very well the World Cup. We know the World Cup rising stars that have been linked with Barcelona. Firstly, from the Moroccan team, we have, of course, Onahi last time on the video. This time, it's another Moroccan midfielder, and that is Sofyan Amrabat. Juan Marti from Relivo has come out saying that recently, Barcelona has showed interest in Sofyan Amrabat. However, Fiorentina are asking for around 40 million euros, which is a price difficult to reach for Barcelona. Of course, other clubs, especially Spurs, are interested in the player. So Barcelona have shown interest in Amrabat. Once they got the price, they pretty much had to take that L. To be honest, again, a player like Amrabat is not what we need right now. We do need a pivot. We need a CDM. Amrabat's more so, I would say, a Frankie de Jong, Ruben Neves profile. He can probably do a job at the pivot, but he's more so a box-to-box midfielder. So most likely we won't go for him because of the price, but Barcelona were indeed interested. But another one that's a bit more realistic, and again, another good performer at the World Cup, and it is the Croatia right back, Josip Juranovic. This is coming in from England, I think from the Daily Record, also the Daily Mail as well. They've come out saying that Barcelona are reportedly in the hunt to sign Celtic right back Josip Juranovic after his World Cup heroics with Croatia. Now this makes more sense because we are in the market for a right back. Of course, Bellerin is going to leave. Roberto's contract does expire, so this one makes a bit more sense. This is coming in outside of Spain. There's nothing in Spain whatsoever reporting this. No, not even Sport, which is surprising because the Sport have been linking us all over the place with every single goddamn player. This is coming in from England, of course. Celtics in Scotland, so English and Scotland, there is a connection, you could say, but nothing coming in from Spain. I don't see this happening either, and there are a lot of other clubs that actually do want Juranovic as their number one priority. Also, with his World Cup performance, gonna be expensive. We're probably looking around 20-30 million euros as well, which Barcelona can afford. He is cheaper than Amrabat, but still not the kind of money that Barcelona want to spend on a right back that's not exactly proven. Because of course, when you perform in the World Cup, we go back to club, it's all a different story. It's a different playing field. You look at James Rodriguez, played well the World Cup, went to Real Madrid, was okay, went to Bayern Munich, was okay. Diego Forlan played well the World Cup, went back to his old club, he was just average. So there is that World Cup tax to be considered, and again, for that price as well, it is a big risk. I do think the club do want to right back. They do want to spend big on a right back, but they want to spend big on the right back. So we'll wait and see on Juranovic and Amrabat. I think most likely neither of these two players will come to Barcelona, but they have been linked over the past week. Now, a right back that Barcelona are actually in the market for and has been reported in Spain, also in Germany, and a right back who's been on our right back list for quite some time now is Benjamin Pavard. This is coming in from Bild in Germany. They come out saying that Benjamin Pavard wants to leave Bayern Munich and is considering joining Barcelona, who are interested in him. I believe Pavard will be a free agent this summer or next summer, if I'm not mistaken. I know his contract is on the brink of completion. There have been reports coming out from France saying that he's been absolutely dreadful in the French dressing room for the World Cup. Of course, got benched for Jules Koundé, the current Barcelona French defender. I think this is good. I think this has a good chance because Pavard is that profile that Xavi's looking for. A right back who's very, very versatile and can also play at center back and maybe even left back as well. That Juan Foyth profile that, you know, clearly Xavi is in favor for. He will be very, very cheap, of course, with his contract expiring. This could be an option for sure. I get that Pavard won the World Cup as a right back in 2018. But I don't see him as a Barcelona right back. I see him more so as a very conservative right back, a very defensive right back. Based on what I've seen, of course, I've not watched him week in, week out. But from what I've seen, I see him as a very defensive right back. I don't see him making too many overlapping runs. He's not up and down the wing all the time, and that's what you want from a Barcelona right back. Of course, Koundé and Araujo don't really do that much either, so that's why I want someone a bit more, full flowing. But if this is what Xavi wants, you have to back it. But I would keep an eye on Pavard for sure. He fits a profile that Xavi wants at right back, and his contract is also expiring. Now, position for Barcelona that isn't the priority at the moment, but it could be later on in the transfer window in January, maybe deep in the summer, is going to be the attack. Now, Barcelona are in the market definitely. It's clear as day right now for a Brazilian talent, a youngster coming in that can go on loan for a few years and then come to the Barcelona front attack. We lost on Endrick, of course, to Real Madrid over the past few weeks. The next one always that has been in line is Vitor Roque, and there are reports coming in from Brazil saying that Barcelona, Real Madrid, Chelsea, and PSG are interested in the 17-year-old forward Vitor Roque. Now, with that competition, is going to make it very difficult for Barcelona. Of course, with Endrick, they had a set price there for Palmeiras, the release clause, plus additional add-ons as well. Vitor Roque will not be that expensive. We're looking probably, I think, around 30 million euros, but still a very, very big investment for a very young player who will not join Barcelona until probably 2024, 2025. You sign him now, stays on his current club, comes back, goes on loan maybe once or twice, then he comes into the first team for Barcelona. So it's a big investment. It's a big risk when you need to pivot in a right back, spending 30 million euros on something that you don't need, or not, maybe not don't need, but not a priority, is a huge, huge risk. Of course, Real Madrid had their team set in stone. Yeah, they can improve everywhere else, but they went for that, a huge splash, 70 million euros on Endrick. Fair enough to them, but for Barcelona, it's going to be more of a tactical game. Of course, Xavi does want a CDM and a right back more than a youngster for the future, let's be honest. And of course, you could say right now, Vitor Roque does not have the raw talent and the huge potential that Endrick has, where you could say, okay, that risk can be taken. So we'll wait and see. I have seen some clips of Vitor Roque. He is very good. I see him having a good future, but again, still a big risk for Barcelona, especially with the competition, Real Madrid, Chelsea, and PSG. So we'll wait and see. Not a priority for Barcelona, but definitely still on the table. Now, a forward who can actually join Barcelona in the imminent future, we could say this summer in 2023, is of course the greatest human being to ever touch a football, Lionel Andres Messi, the World Cup champion. We all knew this was coming. When Messi left 2 summers ago, we all knew that this summer of 2022, or should I say 2023, January in the summer, rumors are going to be flying left, right, and center. We'll go through it and then give you guys my opinion. Firstly, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that FC Barcelona are dreaming of signing Leo Messi in 2023. Joan Laporta would love for him to return to the club. Candice then came out back in the report from Romano, but also saying that Leo Messi is not considering retiring. He will continue playing in Europe's top 5 league, either in PSG or Barcelona. Inter Miami is going to be put on hold for now. Joan Laporta will try his best to bring Messi back to Barcelona and give him the best farewell in history. I don't think it's going to happen. I think if you're struggling to sign players in January with FFP, how on God's green earth are you going to get Messi involved? I think it's it's impossible to sign him, and it's going to be also very difficult to convince him. I think if Messi has the same contract on the table from PSG and Barcelona money-wise and numbers and all that stuff, I think he would pick Barcelona. But the fact that Barcelona's numbers are going to be, what, 80 to 90% lower than PSG's number will be a big factor. Of course, already settled in PSG as well, although his family is in Barcelona, does live in Barcelona. They love Barcelona. I think, you know, stuff went well for Messi when he left Barcelona. You know, he won the Finalissima, he won the World Cup. Will he want to come back to Barcelona? I think he does, but I think he maybe realizes that chapter is over and he does not want to reopen it. I think it all depends for me on the relationship between Joan Laporta and Messi. Is it still broken? Have they spoken since he's left? I've heard a billion different things. I've heard they've spoken a lot. I've heard they haven't spoken at all. Intermediates have spoken between each other. I don't know. But I don't think it will happen because of FFP. Not because that Messi doesn't want to come and that Joan Laporta does not want him. I think the rules in La Liga will prevent this return from happening. But the rumors are going to fly in until Messi puts pen and paper on a new deal. I have no doubts about that. We'll get this a lot. I've said this back in 2020 when he left. I said the summer and the January of 2023, it's going to be all over the place. But I'm very, very confident that Messi will not go to Inter Miami. I think Inter Miami will be later on down the road when maybe Busquets and Suarez and all of them, Jordi Alba, the whole reunion gets back there. Maybe Messi will join late on, but there's no way he can go to Inter Miami this summer. He's too freaking good to go to the MLS now. It makes no sense, and I don't think he will go to Inter Miami now. Even though the money might be good, it's not the time. He has, I think, at least 2 more years in Europe. At least. Maybe you could say 1, but I would say at least 2. Then after that, you can evaluate your future and see where you're currently standing in your team. But we'll wait and see with Leo. I personally not gonna get my hopes up unless something big happens. If I hear a Romano or someone, you know, Gerard Romero, someone say that Laporta and Messi have spoken, like actual contact between the two people, then I'll get maybe my hopes up a little bit. But for now, it is very, very low on the ground. I don't want to get my hopes too much up. But in the world of football, you never know. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past week or so. First one, of course, the main candidate to leave Barcelona in January, if he does end up leaving, is, of course, Memphis Depay. Now, Sport have come out saying that Memphis can go to Newcastle. The Dutchman has been offered to the English club, which welcomes his own incorporation. They've already wanted to sign the Dutch attacker last summer, but the interest of the three parties did not converge. Of course, three parties: Newcastle, Barcelona, and Memphis Depay himself. Again, I'm going to say this one more time. For me, it makes no sense to let go of Memphis for free now when you can keep him for free until the summer, and then he'll help us in this very, very long, very, very hectic, very game-packed season to come. Last 4 months is going to be hectic. Thursday, Sunday, week in, week out. Lundos cannot play every single second of every single game, right? It's evident. Unless the club can sign a replacement, you know, God forbid, you know, a Boateng, a Luke de Jong, an Adama Traore, something like that, this makes no sense. Makes no sense. And the good thing is that Jordi Cruyff did say this a few weeks ago: why we let go of Memphis when we already have FFP issues and then we have to replace him? It makes no sense. And I fully agree with that. Whether Memphis wants to stay or not, that's not the point. You have a contract. If we don't let you go, we don't let you go. The only way I can see Memphis leaving is if a club comes in and offers, you know, Memphis a good contract that he wants it, and then Barcelona accept it as well in order to reduce his wages, get that 100k a week euros off the wage bill. Other than that, I can't see it happening. But we'll wait and see. I think the club will be very, very frugal what they do in the January transfer window. We'll talk about the situation later on in the video, but I think Memphis Depay's exit is very difficult, but definitely not impossible in January. Now, another player who could leave the club in the January transfer window as well alongside Memphis Depay is Alex Collado. You're probably wondering, how can he leave? He's out on loan with Elche. Apparently, according to reports, Elche are considering canceling his loan move due to the fact they can't afford his wages. So the Elche having some FFP issues as well. Now, Mateu Alemany from Renewal has come out saying that Barcelona loanee Alex Collado has now signed for Goal Management Agency, the same agency as Hector Bellerin and Andre Onana. So Collado has now changed his agent. He's now with an agency. That usually means that he's looking for a move out. And also Sport have come out saying that Alex Collado, who is on loan at Elche, has received some interest from Olympiacos and Sassuolo. So if Elche do cancel Collado's loan move, he will have another move to go to Olympiacos, Sassuolo. There's always clubs interested in Collado because he does have a big talent. He just needs to play week in, week out. I don't think Collado really wants to leave Elche. I think he's content with it where he's currently at, but if they do cancel it, he'll have to find a club elsewhere. Whether he wants to leave or not is still in doubt, but it's clear that Elche could cancel it if they can't end up affording his wages due to FFP rules in La Liga. So we'll wait and see, but alongside Memphis, there could be another exit in Barcelona during the January transfer window. Now, a player that will not leave Barcelona in the January transfer window, but could and probably will end up leaving in the summer, is the first team captain of the club and an absolute legend of the club as well, Sergio Busquets. Of course, over the past few weeks, Busquets has retired from international football with Spain, not be playing for Spain ever again, and his time could be coming up for Barcelona as well. Now, firstly, Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Busquets currently is assessing his future. Busquets will listen to the renewal proposal from Barcelona because Xavi asked the player to do so, but Busquets could either renew with Barcelona or join Inter Miami in the summer, with whom he has negotiated with over the past few weeks. He also came out saying that Sergio Busquets has made his decision, though he will leave Barcelona at the end of the season, despite Xavi wanting him to stay, bringing an end to his 15-year stay with the Barcelona first team. His possible destination, of course, will be Inter Miami. Now, this is coming in from Roger Tolor and Gabriel Sanz, both, of course, from Deportivo, both very reliable. So now we're having that role of effect here. I think what will happen is that over the next few weeks, we'll get more reports, Alfredo Martinez, Gerardo Romero, whoever the case may be. And then I'm expecting this announcement officially, I would say, end of January, beginning of February time. That's usually when the players will announce they're going to be leaving at the end of the season. We saw, I think, with Iniesta. We saw it with Xavi as well. So I think we'll get that mid-February press conference from Busquets where he will announce that he will not renew his contract and will leave at the end of the season. I mean, we all saw this coming. It's very, very sad. I will be emotional when the announcement does come about because I absolutely love Busquets to death. Yeah, over the past few years, he's been pretty dead, but I think he's put in some very solid performances, and he's an absolute legend of the club, and I will forever be grateful. But on the captain side, of course, that's now Piqué gone, Busquets gone, 2 more to go. I think, again, like I said a few months ago, and I still stand by it firmly, all 4 captains should leave by the end of the summer of 2023. Looks like we have 2 down. We have 2 more to go. I think Jordi Alba is going to be difficult, but of course, Roberto, we do have the advantage as his contract does expire, of course, in 2023. So we'll see how it goes. Again, I expect more rumors of Busquets' future over the next few weeks, but then the official announcement will probably come around end of January, beginning of February time. But a player who is set to stay at Barcelona this January and will not be leaving on loan and will stay at least until the summer minimum is Pablo Torre. Fernando Polo from Deportivo came out saying that Pablo Torre plans to continue at Barcelona for the second half of the season and is not expected to leave on loan in January despite some speculation. His recent injury and him not playing has increased the noise around him, but of course, a few days ago, Pablo Torre did get the medical green light from Barcelona and now fully fit to play again. I think, again, for him, it makes no sense to go out on loan, especially the fact that you're still eligible to play with Barcelona Athletic and play under Rafa Marquez, play with, Elias Akumac and all those players as well when you're not playing with the first team. But again, he is currently the 6th choice midfielder for Barcelona. Again, Thursday, Sunday, but Gavi, Pedri, Frankie de Jong, Busquets cannot play week in, week out. I think Kessié and Pablo Torre will get a lot of minutes throughout the second half of the season, but it's now up to him to capitalize on those moments. So I think he will get minutes in the first team. I have no doubts about that. I think, again, like Memphis, letting him go out on loan is stupid because then you have to bring in someone to replace him, and that just causes too much, moving around, too much, work for the Barcelona board when they're not going to probably make any significant improvement. You can, loan out Pablo Torre, probably bring in some average midfielder as well that has, a bit more experience. It makes no sense. But it's now up to Pablo Torre to capitalize on those minutes that he does get for the second half of the season and impress Xavi. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, and the only update that we do have is on the contract renewal of Alejandro Balde, and it was Fabrizio Romano who broke the news. He came out saying that Barcelona are very close to extending Alejandro Balde's contract at Barcelona for 5 more years. And then Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out confirming this, saying that Alejandro Balde's contract extension is well advanced and the agreement is close. The exact details are unknown as it's subject to FFP. The parties want to seal it before the season ends, and Alejandro Balde only wants to stay at Barcelona. So the contract renewal is very, very close to being done, right? But they want to seal it before the end of the season. I don't know if that means end of the season 2023, May, June time, or end of the year, December 2022. It makes no sense to me. But I understand how FFP can be an issue. Again, with Gavi, when we renewed his contract, we renewed it. We didn't make it official, though, with La Liga. So that could be the same with Alejandro Balde. In his renewal, you'll get a 5-year contract, probably get the €1 billion release clause, and most importantly for him and for us Culé fans as well, a first team number. No doubt he will be promoted to the first team. I think Xavi was talking about him yesterday on Barca TV Plus, and that he has exemplary potential, huge future ahead of him, just has to stay focused, train hard, play well, and he'll go to the top, and I have no doubt about that either. So Alejandro Balde is very, very close to renewing his contract with Barcelona and will commit for at least 5 more years with the Blaugrana. Let's now discuss some of the news starting Barcelona over the past week or so. I first want to discuss the FFP issue with Barcelona, explain it, and how things could play out in the next few weeks. Question is really, will Barcelona do anything in January? We will touch upon that. Now, firstly, from Roger Zalor from Mundo Deportivo, he came out saying that Barcelona will have to wait until January to find out if they can sign players. Until then, La Liga will not update the FFP rule. The club is clear about the players who could arrive, but no negotiation will begin until the FFP situation is clear. So according to Roger Zalor from Mundo Deportivo, the club have identified players they could go for and do want to sign in January. They have not started negotiations with them whatsoever. They are waiting for La Liga to release the new FFP, numbers and all that sort of stuff to see where Barcelona's current numbers are at and if there is wiggle room, if possible. Now, when I saw this report, I'm thinking, look, the squad is pretty good, right? I don't think, right back in pivot, but do you really want to waste your time in the whole month of January trying to, move players out, bring players in? I feel like it's just too much of a hassle. And of course, in January, there are big games. You're going to have La Liga, you're going to have Copa, you're going to have the Super Cup. You really want players in and out. Oh, Memphis Depay gets left out because he's on the verge of leaving. Oh, Ludos gets injured. You can't bring on Memphis. Oh, Memphis end up staying. It's too much for me, right? But I think the squad is definitely capable of winning a trophy this season, how it currently stands right now. And apparently, Xavi agrees with me, because Xavi came out speaking about the winter transfer window with an interview that he did with Barcelona TV Plus, and he came out saying, I told Mateu Alemany, not to play too much with the squad. We have made a family and love very well. We didn't leave anything behind in training. It won't be due to attitude or generosity. If we don't play anything, I'm happy. So Xavi's saying, look, I told Mateu, don't play around with the squad too much. If you can improve this, okay, and that, okay. But the squad is together. There is unity. There is a family atmosphere. There's all love. And Xavi himself does not want much to improve in January. So you're probably thinking, what do we do in January then? For me, the most important thing is contract renewals. So you're looking at Balde, Ousmane Dembele, Inaki Peña, Arnau Tenes, Marcos Alonso, unfortunately, whoever the case may be, but also reducing the wage bill via wage reduction. So you're looking at Ter Stegen, you're looking at Frankie de Jong, you're looking at Jordi Alba. Get those players on lower salaries. That way in the summer, we don't have to be, too focused around FFP. So wait and see what the club decide. But again, we go back to the original report. The club have identified players they want to go for, or whether it's going to be signing N'Golo Kanté or pre-contract, Inigo Martinez, or whatever the case may be. The club do have players ready, and they're ready to start those negotiations, but they're waiting for the final numbers to come out from La Liga on FFP. So we'll wait and see how that goes, but again, the club are still going to be struggling no matter what, and they do need significant income to come in as soon as possible. Now, over the past week, Barcelona have generated some significant income into the club in order to help comply with FFP and also generate some money for the club as well, one of them being the deal with WhitwBit, the cryptocurrency company. Of course, the club announced it, then deleted it because they're reviewing contracts and all that sort of stuff, but Cat Radio came out saying that Barcelona's agreement with WhitwBit is worth 30 million euros for the next 3 years. That's, of course, until June 2025. The Ukrainian company has already advanced almost half of this money, and it will help Barcelona comply with La Liga's FFP for this season. So great work here from Joan Laporta. He agreed to the agreement, 30 million for the next 3 years, but has asked for 15 million, around half of the money right now, and the club did get that, and of course WhitwBit did comply with that. So we've already received half the money, which will help us right now. Very, very important with FFP to help balance that wage bill, to give us some more salary margin as well to bring on new players. And also there is, of course, the fact of the World Cup money. Now, according to Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona will receive a total of 3.88 million from the World Cup for giving up 17 players and former players as part of FIFA's benefit program for clubs, a program introduced by FIFA to compensate clubs for the injury risk of their players during the World Cup. So, the club, of course, sent 17 players out, but we also received money from the former players. Apparently, players who have played for your club over the past 2 years, you get compensation for that as well. So we got compensation for Messi, for Antoine Griezmann. The list is, as you can see, on the right-hand side here, and all the numbers and logistics are there for the amount of days they were there. That's how much money you get compensated for. Of course, Messi went all the way. Griezmann went all the way as well, so we did get the cap there for most of the money. We got money for Luke de Jong as well. We got money for Dest, for Braithwaite. So 3.88 million ain't that much, but you know what? We'll absolutely take it. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is give you guys an update on the injury of Ronald Araujo. Of course, on the topic of the World Cup, he did not play there, which of course is very, very good. And Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona's medical services are taking great care of Araujo so that he can arrive in good condition for the first post-World Cup match, of course the derby against Espanyol next week on December 31st. Barcelona want him ready for the derby, but they will not take any risk with him. So right now, Araujo is on track and most likely will be in the squad list for the match against Espanyol, but again, no risk will be taken. Keep in mind though, Araujo was going to be fit for that round 16 of the World Cup, which if Uruguay went through, they would have faced Portugal, if I'm not mistaken. So he would have been fit for that game. So I think Araujo is fit, but the club want to take their time. Of course, he was training very vigorously with Uruguay to make that round 16, which of course in the end they didn't qualify for. So again, the club want to take their time with it. No injuries, no relapses whatsoever. So I would suspect him to be at least on the bench for Espanyol. I don't think he'll be starting. We could probably see him starting in the Super Cup against Betis, maybe the Atletico Madrid game as well. But Araujo is on track to make his return once Barcelona return to action themselves. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past week or so. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to first see, of course, is on the return of Lionel Messi. Do you think it will happen or not? Do you even think it's possible? Secondly, your thoughts on Alejandro Balde renewing his contract with the club. And finally, your thoughts on Busquets leaving the club this summer. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.